BP has resumed its top kill operation to plug the leaking oil well in the Gulf of Mexico. Engineers stopped the process Thursday when they realized the heavy fluid they were pumping onto the leak was spilling along with the plumes of crude oil. Meanwhile, President Obama is insisting the federal government and not BP is calling the shots in cleaning up what is now the worst oil spill in U.S. history.
I take responsibility. It is my job to make sure that everything is done to shut this down.
And joining us now with more on Washington's response to the spill is David Marks, senior editor for Politico. Good morning, David.
Hey, good morning. Good to be with you.
Good to have you here. We just heard the president taking full responsibility. Was that the right course of action for him?
It's a good start for the president, but a lot of people still want to see some real passion on the part of President Obama. He's going down to the Gulf of Mexico area, to the Louisiana coast, but they want to see him get angry about this and really look like the federal government is almost taking over the rescue effort. So far, that has not really happened.
What role can the federal government play in this, given that so many people are saying that BP is the only entity with the kind of expertise needed to handle the situation?
Right. The president was pretty open about that in his press conference on Thursday, saying that the federal government really only has limited powers. Also, under federal law, after the Exxon Valdez disaster up in Alaska, it's really private industry who are on the hook for cleaning up oil messes like this. So there is a limited amount that the federal government can actually do. But I still think people want to see the president get angry, passionate, and really kind of stirred up and fired up about this terrible ecological disaster.
Yeah, and a lot of people at home are stirred up and fired up, understandably so. Do you think the president, given the amount of criticism that BP and the federal government have been receiving in their response to this, waited too long to have this press conference?
I think probably so. It seemed like the administration was caught a bit flat-footed when this whole mess started in late April. They may not have realized the entire magnitude of just how bad it was. Clearly, the president went out and gave this press conference to be reassuring to the public. He didn't smile a single time. He was very stern and serious, and he wanted to be kind of a reassuring figure rather than one who's kind of taking charge and letting his emotions get in the way.
You mentioned the magnitude. Some are comparing this to Katrina for President Bush. Do you think that this is going to be on that level?
If it doesn't look like there's progress soon, it could get to that level. The president, the federal government, the agencies are clearly frustrated that they can't do more, that they're relying on private industry to get this done. But the longer this goes on, the more oil that washes up on the shore of Louisiana and maybe some other states, the more troublesome it is for President Obama.
And so you think this could have an effect on his approval ratings, which we've already seen have been taking a dip?
That's right. The one saving grace for the president politically is that Republicans don't really know what to say either. They're kind of flummoxed. The only thing critics can really say is that the federal government is not doing enough, and Republicans don't usually like to be in that position. So the president may benefit from not having any real political opposition on this front.
What about the issue of the amount of money that BP could be responsible for cleanup and compensating businesses and whatnot? I know that there was some talk about raising that limit to $10 billion. Where is that at this point?
It's really in negotiations right now in the Senate and in the House, for that matter. One senator, Robert Menendez, Democrat of New Jersey, has basically introduced legislation that would say there would be no cap on damages. The basic issue, the problem, conundrum that the president is facing is that BP is acting in the best interest of BP and its shareholders. That's what private industry does. It's not necessarily what's best for the United States taxpayers. That's something the president's going to have to grapple with in the coming months.
All right, David Mark, senior editor from Politico. David, as always, thanks.
Thank you.
And adding to the worries in the Gulf, this Tuesday is the start of Atlantic hurricane season. President Obama and members of the cabinet were briefed on the potential threat of hurricanes yesterday. Forecasters are predicting as many as 23 named storms this year, and as many as 7 could develop into major storms. Good. All right. We're all good. David, thank you so much.
Thanks, Michelle. Talk to you next time.
Talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.